I just want to, I'm going to take a couple of minutes and hope my cat doesn't knock my camera down again. I'm Deb A. Halton. I'm the chairperson of the PR committee. And I would just like to welcome everybody to this training workshop. I'm sure we're in for a treat and session filled with really a lot of information. I'd like to thank Wanda. She's the best. She organizes and sets things up, and we are just very fortunate in MRSPA to have Wanda on board. And thanks to Delana and Heidi, and they're already earning their money this morning. But again, we are really lucky because we have such a knowledgeable staff to present information. And I feel fortunate to be able to tag along, so to speak. ARSPA is sticking with our traditional website, but I look forward to gaining insight and knowledge about this WIX platform. So welcome everybody, and I think we're in for a really wonderful morning. So thank you.
Okay, my turn. I'm Lana, and I've been using WIX for a while. Heidi and I both have, and we're the presenters today. And Heidi finally got her computer working. She's the other MRSBA host up there. Hopefully it'll last. And the first question is, what is a website? Do you guys know what a website is? It's a tool to showcase what is going on in your local area and keep members up to date on both local and state events. So it's whatever you want to put on there about your local that can be public knowledge. And the cost of WIX is free if you don't want advertisements. Not mine, I use the free version and I have no advertisements at all. But I know the free version does give you advertisements sometimes. Well, so anyway, and there's also Weebly. I've seen some people use Weebly. I think it's the same idea as WIX. The advantage of using a web-based database like Weebly or WIX is anybody can get on there that you assign to be the webmaster. You don't have to rely on one person to do it all the time. So, Heidi?
Yeah. And then, so we're talking about creating a site. So if you could pull up the WIX site, Lana, I'm trying to log in right now, but
Which WIX site? Oh my God.
just any general site.
I've got mine sitting out there.
I will walk you through on how to create a WIX site. So first you'll need to create an account. But we actually have, if Lana wants to speak to this, some generic email addresses for you guys to be able to use for your own WIX site. Okay, so if you go into the back end, Lana.
Again. In the world. Sorry.
Sorry, I was supposed to be sharing this and my computer blew up.
Yeah. I have a test copy here. And
so if you can you make it any larger? Maybe it's just my little tiny computer screen.
that's about it.
So you can see right there, you can create a new site. It's right there up top and that little blue button. And if you create a new site, so you can set up, you can use AI. I don't choose to use AI. did you click use AI, Lana?
No,
Okay.
no AI.
Sorry, this computer screen is teeny tiny. So you can create whatever kind of site you want. I think we chose portfolio or blog last time. I don't remember exactly what we chose, just as a test. I don't think it really matters what you choose because you can build your site out however you want it.
Right, because, well, so I guess I can. You don't want online store, I can tell you that. Because it'll give you all kinds of silly things. I mean, if you want to have a store, I guess you can do that. But I wouldn't think you would.
So this is what the back end, she's gonna name her site. Just name it test or something.
Yeah.
Test.
Just SMCPSRA. They suggest you put your acronym in there and not a person's name. Because when you put a person's name, that shows up all the time. I think this will work.
I think you can just skip.
Skip.
And then continue to dashboard. The nice thing about Wix is that it basically allows you to template things in. So you don't have to create anything brand new from scratch except for your content. So like the words on your website.
And this is one place you can change the name.
So if you go, so as far as content goes, what do we want to put on our websites? We want headers. I'm gonna let her.
Just some templates that you can choose from. I'm just gonna get out of here. Okay.
Yeah, you can do headers, footers, menus. You want to keep it all, especially with your menu. You want to keep it short. Oh, goody. My computer's not charging. Give me 1 second. Talk about a day of problems here.
This is a test site I created already. As soon as it comes to. Oh, it's slow when it comes through Zoom. Oh my gosh. Here it comes.
Well, this might not be good. My computer won't charge. What a day.
This is I'll go. This is all I did was made a copy of my current web page. And that's another way you can do it. If you already have a current page that's in Wix, you can make a copy of it. But I labeled it test copy, so I would know the difference. But she's talking about what'd you say?
Headers.
Yeah, there's a header. The trick is with a header, if you keep all your menus in the header, you never have to worry about correcting any errors when it doesn't work. When one of the menu items don't work, it automatically works. Wix automatically makes it work. So if you keep your menus in the header, you're better off. And of course, this one, I put my logo in the header. And we're probably getting off track. And then MRSBA, I think PR committee, somebody requested to put the members MRSBA logo in there. And this is with those words. I think that's someplace later on in this. Yeah, it's down further. And then I just put a button to join and renew. It's real easy to add those buttons. And you can keep working on this and you don't have to publish it. You can just hit save. and there's the save button. You can preview it. If you hit the preview, it'll show you what the web will look like. And then you go back to your editor. You can save what you did and look at preview, but don't hit publish till you're ready, because that'll put it on the internet. And then you got to get it off if you don't like it. Oh, and the footers. I have footers too. I see that on the sheet. I put the address in my footer. So if anybody wants to mail, we have a post office box that we mail to, so it doesn't go to anybody's permanent address. So we put the address in there. Of course, there's no phone number, just the address. And then I just put the connect to the Facebook in the footer too. And that, because it's a header and a footer, every page will have that on it. If you correct it in one place, it'll be the same everywhere. And that's the beauty of it. Because some of these sites that we were looking at, they put the menu underneath here in the actual verbiage on the page. And that means every page you go to, you have to correct the menu, the links. And you don't want to do that. Believe me. So, oh, and then the menu that Heidi was going to do, keep menus short. Like, you don't want to put 20 million words up there. And we've seen some recently that have words on top of words. The menu just keeps on going. And some of them are redundant. So you just got to be careful. And like, for instance, on my, I have to go to the preview so you can see this. Like on the travel, there's sub menus. Anytime you put a page in there, it automatically picks it up. I see scholarship doesn't, because we don't have anything in there. It's just a page. But if you do travel, you'll see different pages. And the same for some of these others. Like on forms, that's just a page. And people can choose a form. And I put the member change form in there, which WIX is doing. I created that through WIX. I picked up that form through WIX and just put my own words to it. And when they send it, it'll come back to you, whatever address you have in there. Okay. Anything else, Heidi, you want to say? Is she even there? Okay, I'll keep going. Number 4, webmaster. It's best to assign a webmaster in your local. You can make it one person or 2 people, whatever you want to do. And then they're responsible for updating the web page. And the main thing about the webmaster is make sure things are kept up to date. You don't want to put stuff on there that is 2012 or 2023. Your current year is almost 2025. So you do not want to put old stuff up there. That's their job, to keep it up to date. If they can't do it, then find someone else to do it. And the webmaster also manages all this data content. So if there's something here that doesn't work or they don't like it anymore, they can take it out, put a new one in. And then what we were going to suggest using as email is to use WIX at, and then whatever your acronym is, .org. And so all the webmasters can use that, WIX at. So mine would be WIX at smcpsra.org. So any webmaster that has it, as long as they have the password, you can switch around and anybody can have it. And then when you get answers, if people email you, it can go to that webmaster, and you don't have anybody's personal name in there. And then don't change the password, because when you start changing passwords, you're going to go, which one is working? Why doesn't mine work anymore? You should really not change passwords unless you actually have to. If you do, you got to let everybody know, including MRSPA. Okay, Heidi, can you talk anymore?
Yeah, my computer died. I found another charger, so we're charging again. So hopefully we're okay now.
Okay,
I'm so sorry, guys. Kind of a nightmare. Where are we at?
Number 5. I'm just leaving my menu up there for you.
Yes, I don't know what you've talked about because my computer died. So
Oh, we did.
where are we
We're
at?
on 5. We're on 5.
Yeah, but 5 what?
Content?
Right, okay, so you haven't talked about that at all.
No.
Okay. So do you want to keep your locals' individual needs in mind? So you want to, these are suggestions based on current websites. Oh, she wants you to review the part about email again, Lana, so you can go back to that real quick.
What, this email form? Oh, the email. I said, whenever you, oh, I gotta find where that is now. When you create your site, one of these places, it'll ask you for the email. And if you keep it at WIX, well, that's not it. One of these sites will actually ask you for your email. And that's where you put in the WIX at smcpsra.org. And I think we've set up, everybody that signed up for this class already has that WIX site, email. And I'll give it to you after the training. I will send that to you with the password that's been assigned. And you can use it in when you're creating your site. And that way you don't have to put like my personal name in there or whatever. I can't find it back. It showed up a while ago. Okay, is that what you mean? Whoever asked that?
That was Karen Littlejohn. Does that answer your question, Karen? Or sorry, Margaret.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
All right,
Thank
so
you so
I
much.
have a question though. So we already have a Gmail account set up
No,
for us
don't
down
use,
here.
I wouldn't use that. I would use this
Okay.
WIX account because some other people, you might want to use your Gmail account in something else, like Facebook or something totally different. Because that way, if you decide not to be the webmaster anymore, the new one can still, you don't have to change that account from whatever you have it to some other
Okay.
person. If you keep it at WIX at and then that an acronym,
Right,
then the person can just take over and you don't have to worry about your name being all over the place or your
gotcha.
email.
You know,
Okay, I mean,
I will second that. I took over in September and it was really difficult to switch over. And I'm not even sure that we're completely correctly switched over, but I still have access and can do anything I need to do, but it was really difficult.
okay, so then this WIX email is through the WIX site. And so only the webmaster or webmasters, because I assume Anita and I are going to be sharing this
Right.
for at least the
Right.
near future.
It's not through the WIX site. You have to set it up in WIX. I can't find the page. It'll show up eventually. It's somewhere
Okay.
here. It's
So it's WIX at youracronym.org.
right.
Okay, now I do have a question because there's Charles County and Cecil County that are both CCR PSA.
I can check with that and let you know. Let me write that
Okay.
down.
All right.
There was-
So-
Heidi, excuse
Yeah.
me for 1 second. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no problem.
I just wanted to address that CCRSPA idea. Last year, there was a conversation when Charles County was setting up their new website, and Charles County deferred to Cecil to use that acronym, and Charles was going to use something else. So that was that was the decision as of last year when Charles first started to create their site. Now, I think the president of Charles is on here today. So I don't know if he wants to weigh in on that or not, but that
I don't
was
see
the
him here. He was
decision
supposed
last
to
year.
be. He was supposed to be, but I don't see him on here.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I saw him earlier, but maybe it was somebody else.
Well, if that's
Oh,
an
yeah,
issue,
no, he's not.
we
Yeah.
can always change it to however you want it, just so it's
Mhm.
not in a person's name.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
but it was, like I said, last year, it was clearly deferred that Cecil County could continue using the acronym and that Charles would use something else because you already had your site and Charles did not.
Right, okay, so I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I guess we need to figure out what that's gonna be though, and I have no
I'll
clue.
check on it.
Okay,
Yeah,
and I don't
so-
know how it was set up for Anita and I who are here today, so,
I don't know that either. I can tell
Okay.
you what happened now, but I can't tell you that.
okay.
Okay, hi.
All right. So you'll want to kind of make a decision on what kind of content to create based on what your local needs. And we do have, we went and looked at all of the, or most of the local sites that already exist and found some things that you may want to include. Of course, this is up to your discretion, but our list included about us. So like your history, maybe not, you can, I mean, you can include your county history if you want, or you can just include your history as an MRSPA local, your contact us, so you'll want to include that, like the leadership, you can include, like I think Lana already mentioned, you can include them, but make sure they are okay with their information being shared with the world, the internet.
Oh, yeah, now see, our contact is just the,
But yeah, if you're just using the WIX at the acronym, then you should be fine. You don't have to have personal contact information.
and WIX created this totally. They had a contact us, thing I picked up, and it put the map and everything in where we're located. WIX did it.
And then, yeah. So then you also want to do community engagement. So anything you have going on in your community, whether it's toy drives or book drives or service opportunities, other service opportunities, your bylaws, if you have specific bylaws for your county. I'll let Lana. I don't know
I'll
if
find
this
it.
one. Bylaws, you want to have a place for
I-
them to join and renew. There's a button right there on St. Mary's. That button should also probably link back to, well, not necessarily that specific button, but you will need something to link back to MRSPA as well, so that
Right here,
oh, there it is.
right here.
Yep, so they can join the state or your local without too much trouble. And then, of course, the homepage is a very important part of your
Say one more thing.
website. What was that?
This just a tip for you. You really shouldn't put your own membership forms in here because they can change. But if you always link to the MRSPA, it's going to be always accurate and up to date.
Yep.
Okay. Now, what was your homepage? Okay.
A
My
homepage. So you want to make sure, this is something we found on a website, or at least one of the locals. Their homepage did not include any information about their actual county. It never even said their county's name. So that's something that you want to be aware of. You want to make sure that, I guess it does say it at the top, Cecil County. But make sure you're actually talking about who you are on your homepage and what you offer.
So while you're looking at that, their domain is cecilrspa.org, not CC. So we should be okay with CCRSPA then in Charles.
Yep.
have to check with Calvert what they did.
Yeah, there's Calvert too.
Calvert is not. Well, we have Calvert used as an example later, and they are not Calvert. They are they have a name, someone's individual name as their website. So you should be okay.
I think it's Lynn Cox.
Yep,
It is.
that's who it
Yeah.
is.
We didn't want to say that, but
And then when you're linking to MRSPA, make sure that your links are always, well, and even on the homepage, when you're linking between, so maybe go to see Calvert, Lana. Do you have Calvert up there somewhere? This was an example we found that we wanted to make sure we mentioned. So if you go to, what was it?
Howard's
one of-
homepage.
well, yeah,
Oh
that
yeah, it was
more.
yeah.
This is more, and then there was something that, anyway, the links do not link back to the home page on some of their pages. You can go to any of their pages, and then there is no link back to home. Well, the home page works, but
There was something that didn't link back.
the linking is not up to date on every single page. So that's, if you're going to include this many pages, you can see how many pages
really
they
get it.
have. I wouldn't recommend it, but I would also be sure that everything links back to your homepage or to your menu, because somebody can get lost in these pages. And I mean, obviously you can figure out how to get back home, but it's just easier if everything links. What else did we have? Optional items that you can include on your website and maybe want to.
This
So
one's
if
a
you
good
go
one.
to calendar,
This is good.
so including an actual calendar can be very I mean, the what is it called? Like the image of an actual calendar can be kind of I don't want to say tedious, but it's hard to make sure everything's kept up to date at all times. So you want to make sure, I personally think that the list is the best way to go. If you have a list of events, as long as you're keeping them updated, then people will always know what's going on. If you have a calendar on there that is, I think there was a few that I saw, somebody from 2012, somebody had stuff from 2021, and that was their latest update. So if people come onto your website and only see things from 2021 or 2012 even, they're going to be like, well, these people aren't even active anymore. Why would I join a community that is not even active and keeping things up to date? So that's something that we want you to be aware of. I mean, we're not saying don't use a calendar, but if you're going to use a calendar, just be sure that you are actually keeping it as up to date as possible. Of course, things are going to happen and somebody gets sick or somebody, just make sure that you can keep it as on top of it as possible. And then there's members only sections. I think Howard
All right,
has a
let me-
members. Oh,
Let me
yeah,
do the calendar again, or add to it.
yeah.
The free calendar in WIX and maybe some of these other sites, they'll let you put events on a page, like a date, I mean, but then you can only put so many, and then it says you're out of space, you gotta buy it. So if you do a list like this, you never have to worry about that. And people can see it right off the bat. You don't have to figure out how to thumb through the calendar to find December or January. I mean, it's just a real pain in the neck.
Yes.
Okay.
Where was I? Oh, members only. So Howard has a members only section. Howard County does on their website.
I gotta find it now.
That's Hartford.
You're right. You're right. Okay, I have to go back and look for Howard. MRSP Howard. That's not it.
Area 1 East.
Thank you. Members area.
So if you do a members area, most people like this county would include a password. So you'll have to let your members know that there is a password required for the members area. It says guest area, but it is a members area. So that's something, if you decide to do a members only, you'll want to make sure you let your members know, hey, we've created a members only area. Here's the password to access it. In this members only area, you can include photos, contact information, kind of whatever you feel is necessary for your local.
You know, this is Karen from Howard County. This area was set up, I'm not sure why. When I took over, I looked at it and I thought about like not having it, but then it's where we keep our newsletters and some photos. I think our bylaws are under there, but I'm probably going to move those. But the rationale, I think, behind it was our newsletter. It's kind of like a member's perk. So if we put it out there just on the open, then people who are non-members kind of get that same information, because I have newsletters going back, I think, 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we have that area set up.
Well, the other thing about newsletters, they can have people's names and addresses and phone numbers.
Correct.
Yeah, so I mean, it's up to you how you guys want to do that, but that is an option that we've seen on it, and it's not just Howard. I know there's a few others that had a members only area as well. So it's really up to you, kind of however you want to handle that. But thank you, Karen. I appreciate that input. Then we have Facebook. So you'll want to, and most times when you're linking to Facebook, it is in like the footer area. So maybe
Back again.
any of those others.
I know you have mine. I had it. That's mine. The footer. Of course, my footer is covered up. That's the footer. That shows on every page.
Connect with us online. You see it down there at the bottom.
See, any page you go to, it's there.
Your Facebook link. You can also link to community organizations. For
Okay.
instance, the Department of Education in your county, your school board, local schools if you want, however you want to work that. If you have specific, your library, I think Calvert has a link to their local library. So there's lots of things that you can do.
Yeah, this one has, I put Department of Aging in it.
Yep.
And the St. Mary's County, in case people want to see that. And I recently added this health one, which they're allowing the employees and the retirees to use. And I couldn't find it anywhere on any website. So now we have it on this website.
Dave says members. Oh, is there a way to relabel guest area to member area or no? Yes, you should be able to. That is just, that was Margaret. Yes, you should be able to type in whatever you want on the actual. So once you get into your site, you can choose however you want to label it. And then members only password, page password, one shared password for all members or a separate password for each member. I would probably do one shared password for all members. I think that would just be too messy to create different passwords for every member, but somebody
Ours is just the one password.
Right. See, here's how you can change stuff. I mean, once you highlight the area, you can change anything that's in there.
yeah, so
Do the
double
same
click in
thing
there.
for,
Yep, you can just type in it and it'll update it. It's fairly easy, which is why we are advocating for doing WIX because it is so easy and you don't have to do you don't have to know any back end stuff really. You just have to know how to type and know how to talk and you're good. And I think all of us do. Okay. Then there's forms, is another optional item. Did you already talk about that, Lana?
Sorta.
I saw you had one up
I
somewhere.
did have to go back to previews. There's two ways you can do a form. Wix has forms you can use, and you can change any of these words on the form that you want to change. You have to go into the edit side of it like we just were and go into that form, or you can link a form. Let me see. Back to edit. Maybe I can do it in here. Survey form here. It's not a Wix form, but you can create your own form and link it to something, which this is not in Wix. This happens to be a Google form, but if you have, I mean, that's where you use your Google stuff, but you can link a form. You don't have to be in Google. I think JotForm has it. There's other things that have good forms, or you can use the actual Google form, which is what I just showed you.
Wix form, you mean?
Yeah, Wix form, sorry. Actually, you can use this actual Wix form. It's kind of limited to what you can do with it, but you can change the items, and you're limited to how many pieces you can put on there to do. Because when and it said street address, and it picked up all this stuff. I didn't have to type anything in there, put it in there. You even put the region.
Lana,
Go
would you
ahead.
mind going back to that setup page like you were talking about and showing them where they can find a form in Wix?
I'm in-
Wix that they can edit themselves then?
Yep.
Somewhere in here, there's a form. Gallery, interactive list.
So here you can kind of see on the left all of the
Contact and forms.
It's on
go up a
contact
little
and
bit.
forms, Lana.
Oh.
Contact and forms.
Yep, that's it. And then you can go in there and you can create a new form, add existing form, which is what I did. It was easier. And since this is already there, I just click on it and it'll bring up that form, and I can, well, that's just that one section. Hold on. The whole form. Well, the main, and it's in here that you can play with it, what you want to do with it. Autofill forms. It's somewhere in there because I pulled this one up, input field, I put down first name. You can also put full name and get rid of this last name. And in here you can put required or just read only. And there's things you can do with it. If you like that, you go to email, just double click. Once you get the form in there, then you can put required. Some people don't have email, so I did not make that required. And let's see this is street address. It came automatic with street address, so I took out street address line 2. I took out country because I figured most of we do have one person living in the Philippines, but she's not moving out of the Philippines. But you can put on there what you want to do. Like if you don't want to put postal code or the state, just put that, so you'll take it off. If you link it back up again, and then it's not required. It's, I didn't put it required. And then when you undo it, when you click back on here, see there's the country that shows up. But I got the basic form from that other page where I just put in an already prepared form. And then once I got it in my page, then I started playing with all the items in the form. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I've had people use this, by the way. They put their new address and stuff and send it to us.
That's nice. That's convenient. All right. And then lastly is on the content is photos and files. And if you choose to include photos or files, you want to make sure, especially if you're inputting them into your WIX website, that you keep them in folders so you can find them later.
Oh, let me go back to the, get back to editor. Okay, say the way you add those, you want me to do that now, Heidi?
Sure.
Okay, add elements. There's, wait, you don't do it there. You do it here. Sorry. You hit this button and it's upload your media. So you hit that button and wait till it comes back to you. Don't ever say upload computer.
Why not?
I'll show you in a second if I get out of here. Hit that X. Okay, this is all your files and folders. See, I have all this junk. I don't even know where it goes. I don't even know which ones I'm linking to anything. But for instance, if I put all my pictures in a picture file, then I know where they all are. And once you open the file you want to put it in, then you can say upload. And it'll upload whatever picture you pull from your computer or wherever it is, and it'll put it in that file, that folder rather, sorry. And if you want to change a picture, you don't have to go looking all over the site here. Or if you want to change a file, you don't have to go looking for them. Like, what is this? Why is that in the middle of nowhere? But if you have it under forms, like every once in a while, I'll go through there and check these forms to make sure they're up to date. So I know they're all in the forms. Okay, what else do you want me to put on there?
I think that's good. And then I kind of already talked about that, about this next one. Oh,
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry, I'm being a pest, but
You're okay.
if you could go back to those files, Lana. I mean, and maybe this just shows how little I know, but could you explain how you put those files there, like where they came from and
Yeah,
how
right
you
there.
how you put them there?
You can create a new folder right here. I'm just gonna say miscellaneous. And if you want, this one is sitting out in the middle of no, in fact, there's two of them. See, that's what happens. When you don't put them in folders, they have two of them sitting there. So if you want, if you have stuff sitting out there, you can say move to, and you say, I want to move it to miscellaneous. So once it comes back to me, then I'll say move here. And see, it's only one there now. And you go up to miscellaneous, and there it is.
Okay, so if somebody took pictures from their local meeting and they
Right.
wanted to put them in a file, how would they do that? And then they could use the pictures in the file to put on their website if they wanted to, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Right. So
I-
how would they do that? How would they take pictures that they took at a meeting and put them, add them to this folder?
Okay, two things. The free version will only allow you to put so much space in. Like if you have a picture that's 3 megabytes, it won't let you do it. It only has a certain amount of limit. So you have to reduce the size of pictures you take unless they're already less than 1 megabyte. But let me get a drink. But even when you're in a folder, you can create a subfolder in there and label it.
Lana, I think if they think of this portion of your behind the scene website as kind of like your email, where you have folders where you want to slide emails to keep for future use or whatever, that's kind of how this area works. You just create folders and then move documents or pictures or whatever you want into those folders so that it's easier to see when you do need them again.
Right. Yeah, I can do that. But I mean, see, it lets you create a folder within a folder.
Right.
So if you have pictures from an event, then instead of, immediately uploading the picture, you do what I just showed you on the other page. You close that out, and I was going to upload pictures from, so I open this page, and then you go to upload, and then you find the pictures, upload from computer. You find them on your computer. This is obviously not my picture folder. I got tons of pictures. Like,
And if you're worried about getting them from your phone to your computer, you can email them to yourself. I think
oh yeah,
there's, I know some phones you can connect straight into your computer.
You know
So-
what? I just want to interject too, as somebody who just took over this website. And I think, I don't even know how long it was in existence, probably since 2017. And it had only had 2 previous webmasters. And this area of the website was so, just like everything was dumped in there. I spent hours and hours and hours of putting things in folders and organizing and getting rid of old forms and, you know, keeping current forms. And so as a person who's now starting your website, or you're taking over or whatever, this area is so crucial for the next person in line that's gonna, when you decide you're done and somebody else has to take over. This portion is so crucial.
you're right. It also helps if you want to, let me get out of here. Let me find a picture. Okay, community. Oh, I have to go to the preview. No, I'm in here. Community service. Okay, if you want to get to the pages, community service. Where's my, right here. I did the down arrow and pulled up the pages. Community service. This one here is 2016. Well, I don't like that anymore. I want to get rid of that.
Mhm.
So you can actually click on it, change image. And if you change the image, then it goes directly into these folders. And if you've already loaded the pictures in there, then you can just choose one. I don't know why that's in there. Oh, that's memos, sorry. If you, pictures, you can automatically choose one, but you have to load it in there first if you're going to be doing that kind of stuff. So, and then it pops in and changes it. Now, this is my test site, so I'm not changing anything. I'm not publishing this, but that's how you do it. And then, of course, once you put a new picture in, what do you have to do?
Change the content.
Change the.
Yeah. Well, I just put that name in, but you have to highlight it or double click on it so it's highlighted, and then you can start typing. And once you're in that text area, you can do all kinds of things. You can make it bold. You can italicize it. See, italicized it. You can underline it. It's
If you underline it, though, you should probably make sure it's linking to something, because
Right.
generally underline means link.
But if you want to change anything, you have to have this text setting page. I would bold things, or you can also change the font size.
Change the font too.
Yeah, I just changed. Oh yeah, the font. You can change the font in here. Ugh. I'll be honest with you, some of these real fancy fonts are really hard to read. So I would try to stay away from these fancy fonts. And you can change the style of these things too. You can make it a heading, which I wouldn't do. It just makes it automatically bigger. And you wouldn't want that underneath a picture anyway. So that's why I left it a paragraph. Yeah. But that's where you can change, but you have to have it highlighted. If you're going to change the color of something, make it red, you have to have the whole thing highlighted to do it. You can also add links. Now, if you do a link, are we getting ahead, Heidi?
No, you're fine.
Okay, the link, if you hit that link button, you can link within a page, which is in your website. You can link with a web address if you want to link it to MRSPA, like membership page, then you pick that in there, and then you have to type the web address here, make sure it's a new window. If you want to do a document in the page, then that's on. If you want to choose a document, then it comes back to these again. So you know which ones of these, they're all in, like or somebody just said, I can't remember. They're all in folders rather. So you know that all these have files in them. If you want to change something, if you want to add a newsletter, or if you want to put a new form in. Where's the form? I think it was here. So you can link it to a form. I got a tip for the forms. If you change a form and you just upload it into WIX, it won't change it for whatever reason. I almost have to delete it with that 3 little buttons, move it to
Delete the
track,
original.
and delete the old one and then put the new one in and then link it, because I've seen too many times that even though you put the new one in there, it, for whatever reason, I can't get it to link back to the new one.
We have a lot of problems with that on the MRSPA website. We've had to delete the old version first before you even try to upload the new version.
Yeah, I mean, these are all the things you can link to. But if you link it, if you do one of those pictures, then you got to have it loaded in first.
I'll say linking to that one section that said link to section or anchor. I found that useful when my page has a lot of things on it, and I can link it to the section, and so people will go immediately to that instead of having to scroll down the whole page.
It is super helpful.
Yeah.
I agree.
Now, the other thing you have to watch for, if you're linking to a page within your WIX site, if you hit page, you'll go automatically down and you just pick the page you want to link it to. And it's okay if it's in the current window. If you're linking to a web address, it should be on new window, because you don't want them to lose your web address. You just want them to show the other one so they can go back to yours if they have to. Mine
Yes,
is automatically
open it
showing,
in-
but sometimes it'll default back to current. You'll know when you publish it, it's not going the right place. So you have to go back in here and relink it. Any other questions about that?
There's also one where you can link it to an email. So if you put your email address in there and want it directly linked to your email, you can link it to your email. There's an email spot.
Right there. You type in your email. It'll tell you if it's wrong, because you get the wrong address for a web address, it'll say error or something. It'll tell you it's not right.
And then so navigating, that's pretty much all the navigating section. Just make sure that, like I said before, you're linking pages back to the home page if you're creating additional pages. Or if you don't need them to link back to the home page, that's fine. Just make sure that all of your links are active. That's really the biggest thing. And then mobile layouts. So
Wait, stop you. Like, for instance, if I go into About Us and hit any of these things, once I'm in that group, then the home page still works.
yes.
And if you put it all in the header, then it's going to work. It should work anyway. I haven't seen any that don't work in header. Okay.
Margaret, does the WIX program have an option to create an online newsletter? I don't know about that. Have you ever seen that one?
Either. No, I don't think so. It just allows you to put things in.
There is a blog you can use as an online newsletter if that is what you would prefer. And the blog allows you to type as much as you want. It's just basically a blank page that allows you to type as much as you want. And you could use that as a newsletter. I think Lana created she created one.
I just created a blog the other day. Just try it out. Works really cool. It tells you the date. Well, not the date. 4 days ago, 4 days ago. I just put these in there. But then I think if you click those buttons,
it'll take you to the actual
page. It'll show it bigger on the blog page. And this is automatic. I didn't put anything in there.
Yeah, when you create a blog, it automatically links.
Right. And you haven't lost your headers with the menu up there in the header.
Not following the blog, is that just when you add things or change things that it automatically shows up there, or what?
No,
Yeah.
you have to actually create a blog. And can you go to the, yep, she's going to show you how. So you can add blog and you can create it however you want. Like you can see all of the designs.
List, post list, side. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this one.
Yeah, and you can do it like so it shows the lists of posts down the side so that people don't have to look, or you can do it. I mean, it's up to you however you want to do it.
I don't know where. Oh, there it goes. It picked up the old one. Even though this is my test, it picked up my old one. It should put the word blog in the page somewhere. I don't know where it put it. Yeah, put it right
and you
here.
can add, it's pretty easy to add posts to the blog.
Yeah. Yeah.
Manage posts right there.
Meaning like if there was a luncheon coming up or whatever, and you, under a blog, you just wanted to put a reminder that the deadline's approaching or something like that? Is
Yeah,
that
Yes,
what
you
you're
can do that.
looking?
Create
Yep.
new post, and then you put, as soon as it comes.
Deadline approaching for membership.
Okay, I was just trying to understand the reasoning behind a blog, but okay.
Like a Facebook page, and it's also kind of like a home page, but instead of putting all this junk on the home page, you're putting it in the blog page.
Oh, just little short blurbs. Okay, gotcha.
Most,
And you don't have to use it. It's just something that like could be useful.
I'm just
if-
saying it. It won't. You
Yeah.
you didn't
You
get
want to just update little sections of your of your website instead of doing the whole. I mean, of course, you want your whole website to be updated, but
Right. Okay.
just little notices is, I think, is what it's helpful for. New things happening, coming up. Okay, and then layouts. So we can also show you on here on your WIX site, they you're gonna have to go to mobile, like go show
it's
them.
right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
but
you can
it's
see
mobile.
up on the top left is the actual, where she's pointing is the website, what it looks like on your computer. And then when she clicks on mobile, it shows what your website looks like on your phone.
I'm still on the on the blog page.
So one thing that you want to know with the website is there are brackets on the site that if you go outside of those brackets, you see those brackets there,
Those
the dotted lines. If you go outside of those brackets, they will look funny and not be all included on your mobile.
Yeah, they'll be on the outside. In fact, you can even move this over. See where I put it? It'll be gone. And that's what it'll show when you go to mobile, because you're not in the mobile anymore. You lost it.
So that's something to keep in mind when you're adding photos. It's great to use the whole section of the web, like the whole website, but just keep that in mind when you're working.
Keep it between these two lines.
Yes. And then I have highlighting. I don't remember what that means. Do you remember what that means, Lana? Oh, it's just if you're going to be linking things, make sure that all of your links are highlighted. Is that what that was?
No, they're underlined and they're in a different color.
Oh, yes. That's what that one was about. So just so that people know that you're actually linking.
So if I decided that I wanted to underline this one, to me, when I'm looking at this page, I'm thinking that's a link somewhere, even though it's not a color. So I keep thinking, well, that link doesn't even work. But this one's highlit and it's underlined. And when I go to the preview, See, this works. See, it's got the little hand on it. Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. It works.
But the other one wouldn't.
This one won't work at all. It's very confusing to people. And most of the time they put it in blue. If you keep it the same color, red is not good because some people, if they're colorblind, they can't see red. Found that out. It just looks dark color or something. But now let me get back to the editor. So you really, if you want to emphasize, say, if you want to emphasize this, don't underline it. You can bold it. You can change the color of it, make it some color that you think people will see instead of putting it in underline with the thing. I've seen even on our MRSPA, they'll underline it in black and it's like, really? And Heidi and I have been trying to change those, but it's taken a while.
And then publishing and saving and previewing, we kind of talked about that. You can see up at the top there, you can save any changes that you've made and you can preview them. So she just did a preview to show you the linking. So that will show what you're actually going to see on your website before you publish it.
On my homepage, I got the blog. So that doesn't work. So that means I have to go back to the editor and figure out what I did wrong.
So that is helpful before you publish something, just to make sure that what you've done is going to work. And then we do have some tips and tricks that we were.
One thing I just did.
Oh.
I just deleted the blog, but look what happened. Everything else went away. Here's the back button. And there it is again. So somehow that blog got in there. So when I deleted it there, I moved it over. It picked up everything else in there and deleted it too. But there's a back button. Did you see the back button? Undo.
And
And
sometimes if your back button is not taking you back to where you need to be, I mean, I can show you how to reverse in days. You can go back a day or two. I've had to do that before when I've accidentally published something that shouldn't be published. It's kind of a complicated, but you go to history.
oh, this is a
That's
page.
not right. That's one of the pages.
Right.
You go to up
Setting.
on the left.
Oh, there it is, duh.
Click that.
Well, that's not it.
That's not right. Go to site. Sorry, I haven't done that. I haven't messed up seriously for a while, which is good. Go to site up on the left. On the
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
up, yeah, right there. Site history right there. Go to site history. Sorry, I'm pointing like you can see what I'm pointing at. Okay. So if you seriously mess something up and you need to go back a few days, right here, it's going to show you all of your site history. Now know when you do go back a day or two, you're also going to lose whatever you've changed since that point. So this is only in extreme cases where you've really screwed something up and need to go back and fix it.
Yeah,
But this
see,
is,
remember when I deleted this blog that was in the middle?
yeah.
It's still showing. I don't know where it went now.
Yeah, so that is a way that, like, if you're like I said, you really screwed something up and and you need to go back, you go to site and then view site history, and it'll take you to the previous version of your site.
Even know where mine went. Oh, there it comes up. Yeah, that's my original version before I started changing.
Yep. So you can restore your site to what it was.
But like I said, you have to remember what other pages you changed.
Yeah. And then let's see, we have some tips and tricks that we were going to talk to you guys about.
Wait, let's do the save and publish first.
Oh, I did. We just talked
Get
about that.
out of here.
Oh, you're saving and publishing.
Yeah. Hold on. I got it. How do I get out of here now? Revisions. Upgrade. Jeez. I don't even know how to get out of here. Test copy. No, that's where I was. How do I get out of here? Heidi.
What do you mean? You're
How
not
do I
in
get
here.
back to? Oh,
You just restore and
Yeah.
that'll republish it. There you
Oh.
go.
Okay, here we are. Okay. There. Oh, shoot. Design site. Huh.
All right. So tips and tricks.
I mean, it's, well, wait, save it. It's still coming. It's just taking a while. I got two. Oh, there it goes. Okay, right here. Upgrade you don't want to deal with unless you want to buy it, pay more money. Save, if you look at that one, you can auto save it, but you're not putting it on the internet. It's just saving. The preview we've already looked at. It's not published. It's still what you've got. And publish means you saved it. It does two things. It saves it and it publishes it to the internet. So what I like to do, you can either save it first and make sure what you've got is working, or what you've got doesn't move around on the page, or you can put publish down. I have not published this test site. If you put publish down, what I like to do, I like to go to let me find mine again. Well, I'll just hit this one. So if I'm changing something in MRSPA or whatever you're in, I'll publish it and then I'll go to that page I changed and I'll look at it and make sure all these links work. If it doesn't work, then you go back to your WIX site and correct it and then republish it. Or you can, but if you save it, it works, but then you really haven't put it on the internet. You just saved it so you know this works for now. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So our tips and tricks, white space.
Here's
We
a,
recommend keeping white space to a minimum because
like,
the more white space, the more you're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and you're like, okay, what am I looking at here? So just try to keep white space to a minimum. White space just essentially is filler, and you don't really need filler. You just want what's important on your website. Finding, so photos, we recommend you using your own, if you have them, if you have photos of your locals. But if you want like a generic photo for your homepage, let's say of a retired person running through a park, let's say. There is a website that I have found that works really well for free photos. It's called Pexels, P-E-X-E-L. I'm just going to type it in the chat. X-E-L-S, if I can. P-E-X-E-L-S.com. It's what I use for all the Facebook photos that I put up. All of the photos on our website are from Pexels. They're really high quality photos, and they're you can find just about anything you need. But we do recommend, if you have photos of your local, to use them, because then people will maybe see people they recognize and be more interested. Let's see. We talked about linking. We talked about the header that with the MRSPA affiliate link. We're affiliate. You talked about that, right, Lana?
I just said it's later. The head
okay.
MRSPA logo, and then underneath it, put we are an affiliate of MRSPA.
Yeah, that's on your website, correct? On your MR.
Yeah, well, find where I put that again. Oh, great. That's the wrong one. Okay, let me start over. right there.
There you can see it. We're an affiliate of MRSPA, Maryland Retired School Personnel Association. And then like we said, footers, you can do your Facebook. If you have a YouTube, you can do YouTube. You can connect to MRSPA's YouTube.
Yeah, the YouTube symbol right there. Now, the way I got those, we just went out there and pulled up from the web. I Googled Facebook and YouTube, and I picked the one that looked the best and put it in there.
Yeah, you can usually find those pretty easily. And then another tip and trip was I can't speak, was not listing members without, at least not on your main page, without either their consent or if they're in leadership, then they expect to be listed in places.
You can get out of that if you put just a picture of people and just say the board of directors or something.
Right. Yeah, so just kind of be aware that maybe not everyone wants their name on everything. And if you take a picture of someone and want to put it up, say, hey, do I have your consent to put this up? Or this is going on on Facebook or on the website, is that okay? And then the menu, we want you to be clear and concise. So for instance, on that, I think it was Calvert that we had up that had that more.
Well, they also have day trippers twice.
Day trippers twice,
You really
yes.
need to combine those two. Oh, here's a,
And if you go to the more, so they can see. So we think that might be too many links. I mean, it's really up to you, but that's a lot of things to sort through when someone's looking at your website.
well, they got a members
We
page.
recommend a short and concise
Oh, now I
menu.
missed it.
That's it. We just have the quiz if you want to
Yes.
do the quiz.
At one time, they were scrolling through their pictures like we were on that I just showed you that worked. Okay.
Can I ask a question about contact, or not contacts, but information? We in Howard County, I am constantly seeing emails from people who see that we, in our one section where we list some things that are helpful for elderly, senior citizens, retirees, and people are all the time saying, oh, I noticed this, would you consider posting this, our website or our information to your, is there any guidelines about that kind of information?
That would
That
be,
might be a Wanda thing.
yeah.
She's still on?
Yeah, I'm here. What I would say, Karen, is that that's a question for your presidents. And if you have a public relations or, that kind of a committee or chairperson, to include them in that conversation. But generally speaking, what we do at MRSPA is, I read or look at whatever the person has sent. And if it's something that applies exactly to what we do, right? So if it's that, then I will, ask Heidi or Lana to post it, or maybe we'll do something about it on Facebook. But we do not typically just include information that people have sent to us on our website. We want to make sure that our website is exactly what we want it to be and not advertising for some other group. Right. So even though the information might be pertinent information, it may not be directly what we want on our website. So it kind of goes back to, what is the purpose of your website? What information do you really want to share on there, and that you want your members or the public to see when they're looking at your website? And if that information doesn't fit into those categories, then we don't add it. We do not add it. And we typically do not just add information that people have randomly sent us, because it also then kind of gives the illusion that you have some kind of relationship with that organization or with those people, and you likely do not, right? And so
Right.
we don't want to, you know, give that impression to our members, right? That we, in other words, if it's on our website, we're kind of it kind of gives the impression that we've vetted the information and that we're sure about it and so forth. And when it comes from another organization or people like that, we really can't fully vet them. We don't have a relationship with them, and so we're not going to include that information on our website.
Okay, that makes sense, and I know that that's what kind of the guidelines we go by in Howard County. Is there
Mhm.
are we open to any sort of liability for things that we might post on our websites?
I would think the only real liability, and I think that's why Lana and Heidi have kind of made mention a couple of times of, you know, trying to keep people's personal information off of your website, because there are so many scammers and fraudsters out there trolling websites. I mean, that's what they do. It's how they make their living. You know, and you want to, if to the extent possible, you want to not give people's personal information on your website, whether directly or indirectly. So for example, you said you have your newsletters hidden behind that member page. And if your newsletter has, you know, happy birthday to all the people that were born in March, and then it says their birth date on there, you know, as we all know, birth dates can be used for lots of lots of nefarious things. So anyway, all that to say, yes, you just want to be careful that you're not inadvertently, you know, putting your members' data out there for the world to see. The world to see. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The other
Yeah.
idea with that
Mhm.
one is you can put a general picture, like these are all of our people, but you don't say who they are or which ones are which.
Right.
I've done
Right.
that before. I haven't done it now because I haven't taken a picture of everybody,
Mhm.
but I have just put a general picture out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. And then,
Okay.
and I would just add, I mean, I would say, Lana and Heidi, you know, before you do your quiz, if you could just let folks, if they have just general questions that they would like to ask about how to actually do something, you know, related. So if you could, you know, if you're looking at that edit page, once you're starting to set up the website. So I don't know how much, I don't know where people are in terms of their skill level with actually creating the page or the site. So I don't, like all these icons that are on the left side of the page there. I don't know if people would like to review what each one of those does. But again, you know, why don't you guys that are here for the training, if you want to, you know, pipe in and say what you would like to know in terms of things that were not addressed or covered, that would be great.
We
Yeah.
did miss one thing though. If you're going to convert to a web page like this, web-based page, you can take your old you can take your old website and just copy and paste into the new one. It won't copy pictures, but if you set up like a text, like I set up a text, what it'll do, it'll put it like this. And then if you've got text in your old website, all you have to do is go to your old, hit copy, go to this one, highlight it, and click paste, and it'll put it in there. You don't have to retype everything. So I use the copy and paste method a lot. It avoids a lot of thinking everything over twice.
Any questions? We do have a quiz if nobody has questions, but I'm assuming there are at least a few questions.
Yeah, I still have one. I'm still on the old, I guess the old site or server. What happens when I change over to Wix?
It still stays there unless you can figure out a way to delete it. Because if I go in, let me do mine. SMCPS.
I can do yours too.
org/TRAVEL. Okay, this is my old site. It's still there. The home page points to the new WIX site, and I can go in there and do this stuff and do this. So here's another way you can just put the calendar in without putting a picture of a calendar like you see on the wall. Wait, community, see, and then you can go back and you can click on some of this stuff and move it over to the new site. But the old site's there unless someone deletes it.
So I guess the question is, we don't have someone who can delete it.
Well, yeah, we do.
Okay. Because it's going to take a while to rebuild into Wix.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. When I rebuilt mine, I took this old site and I just copied it
Right.
over to Wix. And it didn't take me but one evening to do. Of course, and then it takes a little bit to refine it, you know, make it exactly the way you want it. But the basic data was in there. It didn't take me that long because I cut and pasted it in there.
Okay.
I will give you another, and this maybe doesn't apply to you. I know that in the past, I am a writer. That's what I do. I have had a website through one platform or another. And you can sometimes, depending on the platform and the website, you can integrate your old website into a new platform. There is an option for that where you can essentially copy the whole website without having to do the copy and paste thing. I would maybe even look into that. And it doesn't, at least mine didn't cost money. I think I went from Bluehost to WordPress and it didn't cost anything. To just integrate your whole site over into the WordPress. So it really, that is an option you could look at. It will just create essentially the same site that you have into a new platform. I don't know if that works. Like I said, I don't know if it works for everything, but it's an option you might want to look into.
Okay. I mean, the old website was built with Dreamweaver, so I don't have a way of
Oh,
direct.
probably not then. Yeah. So you might not be able to do that.
Oh,
Okay.
the Dreamweaver, I had Dreamweaver too. And I just copied and pasted what I put in Dreamweaver, like I did here.
Right.
I just copied this into that text. You have to set up, I don't think it will let you, I don't think it'll let you just put in a new one. Oh, it did. Oh, that's because I'm in the same. Yeah, it does. And then you have to tweak it. It will,
Right.
but it won't let you copy and paste pictures. You have to load the pictures into the new site.
Well, on my computer, I have files set up for pictures, and so I can just move those files to Wix.
Yeah,
If
I think so. I
if
think
you
you
do
move the
the-
whole file.
the free site, it will let you move, but you got to watch this. If it's too big, Wix will tell you the file's too big.
Right.
And if it does, then you're going to have to go in there and resize the picture.
Okay. Now I have forms that I use that are already in PDF format. Can I just go ahead and move those over the same way?
Yeah. It's right here. Let me find the right one. These are things I've added, and so these are forms I've added.
Right.
They're
Pick
all
up the,
PDF.
yeah.
So I'm just moving, what I'm doing is basically moving the folders that I have, which may be pictures or files, but to another area on my computer.
Well, you're moving it to the web-based version.
Right, right,
These are all the files. And I mean, you add to them and subtract them, but
right.
if you've got files already set up, then you just have to, I would personally make sure I had a folder set up that's, if it's called forms like mine is, or if it's called membership, well, all the forms are in there, or if you have another name for it, then whenever you are into, if you want to, now this, I'm still playing on the whole page. It doesn't matter. It says, if I want to add a file, let me see if this is it. Oh, I know. When I'm in here, and I want to upload it. Let me go forms. If I click on this button, add to, I can just do like this and it'll put it in like that. Just clicking on it. But I don't like to do that all the time. Then you can make it smaller and stuff because you still have, in my opinion, you still have to put a text box somewhere to say whatever this form is.
Right.
But it will put pictures in, or you can do this. You can underline it, make it a link to that.
Right.
And whether it's PDF, I usually use PDF. It'll work with Excel. It'll work with anything that you, any file you have out there. You'll pick up Microsoft Word, it'll pick up, and it'll show you Word instead of PDF.
Any other questions?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah.
This is tangentially related. So we still have the old way of our newsletter of printing with using a publisher and printing with a printer. And we've been including photos, some of which lately would be naming like your Betty Weller and Virginia Crespo. We've been naming people, not always, if it's a large group, obviously not every single person, but these newsletters are mailed individually and they're not online anywhere. So is that permitted, or should I be going back? Because I'm getting ready to submit our December newsletter now. So should I go back and change those and make them more generic, even though it's a mailed paper copy and not a online?
No, it's absolutely okay, Margaret.
Okay.
The thing that to more worry about is, you know, if it was like if you put their address in there, right? Or
Right.
their
No,
phone
we
number.
don't do any private information.
Right. Just their, I mean, you know, they're the president of the organization, of our organization, and our legislative aid. It's okay to put their names out. I mean, certainly to put their names out there with their picture. We have
Okay.
it we have it on our own website.
Right.
It's just
I
that
know.
other personally identifiable information that you want to stay away from there.
Okay. And I appreciate that, Wanda. Thank you.
Margaret, one little tip with that. If
Yes.
you're putting your newsletter up, it might be too large. You might have to resize your newsletter to put it online into WIX.
Well, I'm not good. We've not even been able to get very far with even sending it out to the other counties. I've tried to send it to Wanda online, but you know, on and off, but we're still struggling with finding enough people to help us with things. So bottom line, we need to move to a newsletter, you know, online newsletter. So I'm going to be working on that.
But what I'm saying, when you load the newsletter online, you're going to probably have to resize it because, well, I put a lot of pictures in mine. It will not take it.
I hear you.
But when I convert it in PDF, it'll let me resize it.
So I see other people's, their wonderful colored newsletters from places, maybe in York County.
Yeah, I just had mine. It's got colors in it.
Right. And so what did you do? You just made it, you're saying you made the photos smaller?
Well, I made the whole thing smaller in PDF. Well, I made the pictures smaller too, but I also made it in PDFs, the whole file in PDF smaller. If there's a thing in Adobe that lets you, when you pull it up, you can resize it. But
Okay.
this is the full
So
version.
when we get to that point,
You
we're
can
so
call
far
me.
from that. I mean, we're just crawling along here.
Right.
Our website is embarrassingly old, but it's okay. Linda Miller's here with us today also with the training, and we're going to be brainstorming and try and find someone else to help us also.
Yeah. The other thing is we have a printer too, but I got to watch these pictures. If they're too dark, they'll come out
Right.
black when they print in black and white.
Right.
This one, I decided to do people's travels over the summer, and people turned in stuff to me, and I found them on Facebook, and
It
they
was
like to do it.
nice.
And
Yeah, there are a lot of really wonderful newsletters out there right now. So
Yeah.
we're aspirational. That's where we are.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can get all kinds of ideas from those other newsletters. That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, you guys have been great and so supportive to us.
Any other questions?
This was a really good training.
We're
Sorry
not
about the mess at the beginning.
Oh, it's okay.
ready for the quiz then.
You know
Ready
what,
for the quiz.
let me just say real quick too. If anybody looks at our Howard County Heart website, feel free to steal, borrow, take whatever you want and use it on your sites. There's no reason to have to recreate and invent the all over again. If, you know, I borrow and copy and use other people's things all the time. So please feel free to do that.